Yes, we're here.
We are here once again, and it literally just started when I was rubbing my eyes because I'm pretty sure this hay fever is going to kill me, Dan.
It's a nightmare. An absolute nightmare. You're not the only one. This eye has been... Oh, it's nuts.
It's the itchy eyes, it's the stuffy nose, it's the whole shebang, isn't it?
Yes, nasty.
Yeah, it's terrible,
But have
terrible.
you done anything about it? Have you put anything in?
Yes, I've got the old, up the
have
nose
you?
ones, and I also take two different hay fever tablets a day to fight it. So
See, I'm
safe to say I
I'm
struggle.
quite lucky in that respect. Then I've not taken a thing.
Yeah. You're your own remedy, Dan.
Although I do drink plenty of water, that helps.
That is true. What's that like?
Well, it's like drinking anything. If you've had COVID, right?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever lost the taste of smell?
Yes.
It's like that.
It's just like that,
It's
isn't
just
it?
like that.
Yeah.
Only with your consent.
Of course.
Right, so Tommy, of course, the sun is shining across the UK, or just on my forehead, and of course,
we're capping off, aren't we? We're capping off this month.
We are capping off this month. First of all, apologies for last week. Someone have had to abandon me at the very last minute. You do know that you could plan these things in advance.
I know. Yeah, but with a schedule like yours, Dan, it's difficult to rearrange.
I was available on the night, mate. I don't know what your problem is.
No.
No, you could have rearranged.
I asked for any other night, and you were like, I can't do any of the other 6 nights.
Yeah, but you asked me that at 2 hours now. Are we really arguing on YouTube? Let's do this. Do you know, this could be a Channel 4 programme.
No, yeah, please no.
They love this shit.
This is better than Big Brother. Let me tell you. It's better than Big Brother.
I won't even tell you what I watched the other night. I was hooked. It was trash, but I was hooked.
Don't say Love Island.
No.
Thank
right,
God.
so...
That's all I want to know.
It's probably just as bad. Right, so, Tommy, let's get into it then. Films. We got...
We have 2 to cap off this month. Just Tommy June. So 2 more of my picks. 2 more to cross off on that board. We're kicking off, Dan, with the 1994 action comedy Pulp Fiction. Can I finally say I am now a cinephile because I've watched Pulp Fiction? It's one of those films where everybody talks about, oh my God, you haven't seen Pulp Fiction. Oh my God, you haven't seen it. It's like one of the best films ever made kind of thing.
You get used to people saying that to you.
Yeah, you do, especially in my line of hobbies. So some good buddies of mine finally sat me down to see a film that was so good that it competed with Oscar heavyweights that were released the same year, like Forrest Gump and The Shawshank Redemption. Overall, I feel this film is fantastically made, from a layout perspective at least. You have a good 5 or 6 storylines that flow alongside each other and are told in a very non-linear structure. I liked the idea of a certain storyline having an A-side and a B-side to them, but some did stand out more to me than others. The story that stood out to me the most was the Vincent and Jules one, which was brilliantly brought to life by Travolta and Jackson's impeccable comedic timing. I also found it surprising and humorous that certain storylines took a drastic 180 turn that I didn't see coming, specifically the long-awaited confrontation with Butch and Marcellus Wallace. If you know what I'm talking about, then that scene took a turn for the worst. So worse, in fact, that The Simpsons ripped it off, so I'm told. So
Simpsons is really good at doing it.
You might know what scene I'm on about if you've seen The Simpsons one. Having seen 2 major Tarantino films now, I know what I am in for when watching his filmography. If you go in expecting a heartfelt film with humanity or lessons learned by the characters with emotional music that speaks to the soul, then you're not going to get that. You're going to get off on the wrong foot with his work. But if you go in expecting a lot of smartly written comedy, which balances out a lot of blood and gore, then you will not be let down by his films, specifically this one. Tarantino characters aren't aspiring characters that we want to be. They're characters that we simply like to watch and get entertained by from beginning to end. So to close, Dan, I am glad to say I have finally seen Pulp Fiction. It isn't a masterpiece, a lot of people say it is, but its structure and comedic dialogue rightly earns its spot as a unique and original piece of cinema. So that's my review for that, and I'm actually going to hold off on the rating because the second film actually has the same rating, so I may as well just give them both the same rating at the end.
All right, let's get into
We
that
move
one, then.
into a second film now, which I only watched over this weekend, called Groundhog Day, which was released in 1993.
I've not seen it.
Very relatable concept here, Dan. In my line of work, I too feel like I am caught in a daily loop where every day is the same.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's true. I'm always a sucker for the down and out person who rediscovers the meaning of life arc, and Bill Murray's character in this film is no exception. To get bleak for a moment, when his character is constantly committing suicide, just to see if that breaks the cycle, it offers the unique question of, if you're depressed and want to kill yourself but can't, how many times do you try before you feel better?
That's deep.
It's very deep, isn't it? And the character of Phil goes through a lot to discover this loop of a day can be beneficial for himself and for others. As far as favourite one-off characters go in this film, Stephen Tobolowsky's Ned Ryerson was my favourite because he was a real hoot of a in-your-face character that always lightened the mood. There's been constant study and theorising over the years of how the loop started and how it ended, but the people looking into that, I believe, are missing the point of the film. Their focus shouldn't be on how the loop comes about. They should be focusing on what it does to the character of Phil and how it changes his view on the world. I imagine the making of this film must have been a breeze, as they could use multiple takes of the same scene for repeated days. From a filmmaking standpoint, like they could just spend the whole day just filming take after take after take of the same scene, and they could all be used because the day is relived.
Yes.
So that's quite a genius way to make a film if the concept is right. Bill Murray is a comedy genius, and his glim, expressionless demeanour is really a one-of-a-kind vibe that no other actor can replicate. He gives off the impression he would happily be anywhere else, which just so happens to fit with the themes of this film and his character. So to close, Dan, on Groundhog Day, it was a long time coming for me to check out, but I am glad I have finally watched it. It's a story that falls into the same category as A Christmas Carol or It's a Wonderful Life, where the main character goes through a huge journey of self-discovery and finds out just how much good he can bring to other people's lives. Also, as a British person with a British sense of humour, seeing the words gobbler's knob constantly throughout the film gave me a silly chuckle every so often. It's the name of the festival that he goes to. It constantly has up on all the banners, Gobbler's Knob. And British sense of humour, it made me chuckle quite often, I must say,
It's
Dan.
nothing quite like a British sense of humour.
Absolutely not. So on that note, Dan, I am going to rate both Groundhog Day, 1993, and Pulp Fiction, 1994, 3.5 stars out of 5 to end the month on.
It's not a bad one. It's not a bad one.
Yep. And shall we give a little teaser for what we're moving into next month?
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Now this one I know you've been looking forward to.
Yep, so it's happening, guys. It's Jugs July. So that means we're talking about saucy movies, films with, like attractive people in it, I guess. People with nice bodies. It's the summer, like it's bikini bottom July.
They watch the movie.
Damn right, yeah.
Every week.
Yeah.
For the next month. I look forward to it.
I'll look forward to seeing what we come up with for that, Dan.
And don't forget, next month is also the month I reveal to you next year's calendar. So
Yes.
get involved with that.
Cannot wait for that, Dan. Cannot wait. I need to start planning out, so the sooner the better.
And this time you don't get any previews.
Brilliant.
I'm going to give it to you live.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
That's going to be good.
I'm looking forward to it.
Nice.
And, of course, I've got some surprises for you. Some plot twists.
Okay.
And, of course, things you're going to really love.
Awesome.
Really.
I'm so excited for 2025 already, Dan. And we're only halfway through this year.
I know, it's great. Right, well, thank you. You like, comment, subscribe, follow, all that jazz. You know what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's all below. Tommy knows where to find it.
Larkins95, Dan Moore Radio, Letterboxd. You guys can just join us on Letterboxd. You can follow us. You can comment on our reviews. Give us some.
Tell us to review.
Or tell us to review in Daniel Moore's case, but that's a whole other conversation. But other than that, I wish you all a very summery week, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week.